We're gonna start on our backs. It's really nice sometimes to begin with encouraging effortlessness, encouraging release. So I'd like to do that today. So beginning on the back, if your lower back is bothering you in any way, then I'd like to ask you to bend your knees. But if you're able to just lengthen out fully, then lie down and make as much contact with your back body to the mat as you're able. Like really feel that you can melt the back body into the mat. And if you're able, take a starfish position, which is to say, widen your feet to the edges of the mat and take your arms overhead to the edges of the mat. And of course, if there's any limitation in your shoulders or hips, knees, ankles, whatever, then take something that's comfortable. We never want to be in a place of pain. So just here, feeling the weight of the body into the floor. If your arms are above your head, allow the palms to be facing up to the ceiling. Feel the parts of the body that are most in contact with the floor. The hips, the shoulder blades, tops of the shoulders, the back of the head, the heels. And just feel that with each exhale, you can melt a little bit into the floor. We're going to just open and close like a starfish a couple of times. So as you inhale, extend, point the toes and extend the fingertips away from the body. Fill the belly, the rib cage, and the upper chest, and then the top. Squeeze your toes, make fists with your hands. Hold the breath for a moment. And then exhale, melt, drop everything down. We'll do this 3 times. So that's 1. Inhaling, extend the toes and the fingers. Inhale, belly, rib cage, upper chest, and then squeeze the toes, make fists with the hands, and squeeze the face. Make a little raisin face. Squeeze everything. And then exhale fully. Good, so this last time we're going to just really squeeze the whole body and then release the whole body. So inhale, once again, extend fingers and toes in all 4 directions. Inhale, belly, ribs, upper chest all the way to the collarbones, and then squeeze the toes, make fists, squeeze the face, squeeze the lips, squeeze the eyes shut, squeeze the flesh to the bones. And then exhale, melt, release everything. Turn the head from side to side, just easily. And feel that this turn of the head is not coming just from a couple of vertebrae of the neck, but that really the whole spine becomes alive. From the tailbone, it's not moving, but just think that it becomes alive from the tailbone all the way to the crown to make space vertebra to vertebra, so that the head can turn on its axis. A lot of spaciousness. And then come back to center. Bring the legs to the midline. And let's hug the right knee in. So again, you can bend the left knee and place the sole of the foot on the floor if you'd like. Or you can keep that left leg long. And you can hug behind the left knee or right knee or at the right shin, whatever feels best. Just hug in, just feel that crease, that flexion of the right hip, and you can also rock the knee a little bit out and in. And be alive, be very energized also in that left leg so you can flex through the foot. And feel the ball of the left foot move away from you. So you really get some opening through that left hip flexor even as you're drawing the right knee in. And then inhale, feel the belly move against the right thigh. And as you exhale, draw the navel to the spine and allow that to curl your spine so that the forehead can come up toward the right knee. And just hold the breath out. Feel that curl of the spine, and then inhale, release. Take a couple circles of the right foot, opening the ankle one direction and the other. Good. And then we'll extend the right leg up toward the ceiling, point through the toes, and as if somebody's pulling on your right big toe and your core is engaged, slowly lengthen that leg away, away, away from you as you send it down toward the floor. You can go as slowly as you like. Keep nice and connected through the core and all the way down to the floor. And then just roll the legs in and out for a moment. And pause and notice, how do you feel through your body and specifically in the legs? Any difference from right to left? Just notice what you feel in the presence of each leg. Does one feel longer than the other? And we'll just repeat this simple sequence on the other side. So hugging the left knee in toward the chest. Just let it be luxurious and spacious all the time you need. Just take it. And again, you can take the left knee out to the side and back toward the center line. Just get some movement going in the hip. You can really lengthen and flex through that right foot. Just engage through the whole line of the right leg. And then inhale, feel the belly move against the left thigh, and exhale, draw the navel to the spine, curl up, forehead toward the knee. Exhale, hold it out, and then release back down. And then extend the left leg toward the ceiling. So just nice and slow, really being spacious, allowing ourselves a lot of time. Point through the left toes, and as if somebody was pulling lightly on your left toe, you have the leg of a dancer and it's just extending so long, long, long. No gripping as you slowly release to the floor. Core is engaged. And come all the way to the floor. Once again, roll the legs a little bit in and out. Just shake them out. Oh, and I forgot circling the left foot, so why don't we do that while the foot's on the floor? Take circles, open the ankle. And the opposite direction. And then we're going to hug both knees in toward the chest. And you can do this any way you like. You can have the knees wide. You can have the knees together. You can take happy baby if you like. Holding on to the outer soles of the feet. Just rock it a little bit side to side. Just easeful. And notice, where's your mind? Can you bring it back to your breath, to your body, just to this moment? It's right here. All the affairs of the day, all your work, all your lists, so many lists, they can wait. Just attending to body and breath. And then as you're ready, roll over to the side and come on up to a comfortable seat. And of course, if you'd like to stay on the floor, go ahead and do that. So as I said, Vayakhel, Parshat Vayakhel, is concerning itself, again, with the building of the Mishkan, all the work of the Mishkan, all the gifts, all the truma that everyone has brought with generous hearts. Moses has to get to the point where he says, it's enough, you've all given enough, you can stop. There was so much generosity, so much nidivut lev. So this portion also talks about Shabbat right in the beginning. These are the things that the Lord has commanded, that God has commanded you to do. On 6 days work may be done, but on the seventh day you shall have a Sabbath of complete rest, holy to Yud He Vav He. Whoever does any work shall be put to death. Wow. Wow. Uvayom hashvi'i yeh lachem kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton l'Adonai. Right? So reminding us that Shabbat is really important. A matter of life and death. So I want to read from Yael Levi, Rabbi Yael Levi's beautiful book, Directing the Heart, on Parshat Vayakhel. So like a meditation on Shabbat. At IJS, one of our core values, we call it Shabbat consciousness. This idea that we can take this kind of rest that is intended and given to us as a not just a gift, but a commandment for Shabbat, we can find little pockets of Shabbat consciousness, of rest during the week. And hopefully that's what we're encouraging when we come to the mat. So I'd like to just share this with you. And as I do so, take a tall seat, and you can close your eyes and just attend to your breath, to a tall spine. If it's not comfortable to close your eyes, just keep them open and soft. But let's, as we listen, as I read, as you listen, make an intention of just pausing from all the busyness, from all the demands of your life, to making this holy space of Shabbat consciousness. Everything moves so fast. Even when we are paying attention, days become weeks, weeks become years, a lifetime goes by in a moment. This is one of the many reasons to pause, to stop, to rest. 6 days a week, engage in work. Involve yourself with the doings of the world. And on the seventh day, pause, stop, rest. This, the Torah says, is a matter of life and death. The practice of pausing, stopping, resting keeps our souls alive. It encourages wonder and renews our energy and strength. Pausing, stopping, resting keeps us mindful and aware of the constant flow of time and helps us be discerning of what we do with this precious gift. Pausing, stopping, resting honors creation and helps us remember that we are part of the unfolding of creation along with all of life. So gather together, the Torah calls, and support each other in pausing. Gather together and build sanctuaries in time. Adorn time with love, with purpose, with commitment and joys. Fashion time with community, with wisdom, with heart-centered awareness. And pause on the seventh day to refresh and renew your soul. Together, make sacred the gifts of time through stopping, resting, being. This, the Torah says, is essential, a matter of life and death. So pausing, stopping, resting, I want to remind us that that's true for Shabbat, and it's just true in general. We can take little pockets, little moments of Shabbat consciousness. And lastly, I want to share with you that I have up behind you, above my computer on my wall here in my yoga studio, a quotation from Brené Brown, because it's to remind me. It says, "It takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol." I'll read that again. It takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. Right? So it is countercultural to prioritize rest, sadly. So let's do that. Let's prioritize rest. And in everything that we do today, in every gesture, in every movement, let's prioritize a softening in the body, a resting. So let's begin with child's pose. And if this is not comfortable for you seated like this, you can sit on the chair and just fold forward and take forearms to your thighs. Just have less of the flexion in your hips. You can go ahead and take it that way. Take the knees wide toward the corners of the mat and start to walk the hands forward, walk the fingertips forward. Make it a really long, nice child pose where you extend the palms of the hands. See that the wrists are even inside and outside. And really energize through the arms. The elbows are off the floor and the outer shoulders are moving down toward the floor as the inner arms are moving up toward the ceiling. You could think the eyes of the elbows are moving up toward the ceiling. And feel length in both sides of the waist and an opening through the armpits. And just be here and breathe. See if it's possible or accessible to touch in with the expansion of the rib cage in all directions. Where can you bring a little more life-giving, Shabbistic breath? You can even use sound on the exhale. Whether it's a whisper or a moan, or a little more sound even. You can open the mouth and whisper or speak the syllable H-A, ha. And then walk the arms over toward the right, the arms and the torso. And particularly extend through the left fingertips. You can even bend the right elbow and press the fingertops into the floor to get a little bit of a twist and a lengthening for that left side if you'd like. Just opening up the whole left side of the body, left side of the rib cage. And then walk on through the center. Come on back through the center and over to the left. Same thing. Extend particularly through the right arm. And you can bend the left elbow if you'd like and press the fingertops of the left hand into the floor to give a little twist and lengthening to the rib cage. Be here and breathe. Beautiful. And then come back to center. And one more time, lengthen those arms. Long spine. And then walk the hands back towards your body. And if you've got those two blocks, take them on the lowest level, vertically on your mat, shoulder width apart. I'm going to get a little shoulder opening here. And if you don't have them, you can put the elbows to the floor. It's just nice to get this lift for them. So we're going to bend the elbows and walk the elbows toward the front of the blocks. Take the palms together in prayer, and then feel that you can drag your tailbone back in space. Long spine, head and neck easy to begin to open through the armpits. And follow to your own edge. This can be really, really intense, especially if you're quite tight in the shoulders. So you can keep some movement on it, coming front and back. Or you can find your spot and just rest. Now, don't just hang out in the joints, right? We don't want to just flop the rib cage down. Really extend that tailbone back. And you'll see what you want to do with the hands. Either the fingers are pointing up toward the ceiling, or you can bend the elbows and place the fingertips kind of at the tops of the shoulders or between the shoulder blades. Continue to draw the tailbone back and see if you can soften the space right between the shoulder blades. Staying really attentive to sensation, observing. If you come to any place of pain or strain, back off. This is our learning. This is the beauty of the yoga practice, to really notice when we get in a state of discomfort or distress, God forbid, and caring for ourselves and coming out of it. Just a little opening here, shoulders, armpits. And then slowly release. And come on out. And then sit up. We'll take the right arm across the body and the left arm just holding as we extend through those fingertips. Just noticing where you feel that stretch. And then the other side, left arm long. Bring the right arm to hold it and press against it to give you some stretch and sensation. In another part of the shoulder. And then release, just take a little shake out, a couple shoulder rolls, whatever feels good. We'll make our way to standing. Really good to remember the shoulders a little bit every single day because we spend so much time hunched. We want to really open them. So take the legs a little wider than hip width. Just let the gaze be soft as you begin some gentle hip circles. And just follow your body's call. They can be small, they can be larger. Just notice where you have resistance, where it's easier. Keep a bend on the knee. Ease in the knees and the ankles. You can let your torso become involved as well. And then the other direction. The hip circles are really nice to just see what's going on in the hips today. We hold so much in the hips. So we can see what the availability is here for movement. And then pause, and then we're going to take a figure 8 shape with the hips. So going around to one side and then through the center and then around to the other side. See if you can coordinate that figure 8. It can feel a little strange at first. Don't worry if it doesn't feel so coordinated. Can you just make it easy through the hips? You can even kind of follow with your hands. Sometimes that can be helpful. Just sort of direct yourself. And then pause and then go the other direction with that figure 8. So make sure you're going around to the side and then back through the center. Okay, friends, wonderful. So that juices up the hips a little bit, that we can be ready for warrior 2. So take the legs wide, turn the right toes out and the left toes in. The front heel is in line with the back arch. Good. And for now, just take the hands to the hips. Feel your hip points here. Inhale, and then as you exhale, bend through that right knee. Come on into the pose. And then come in and out a couple of times, straightening, bending. Maybe it'll coordinate with your breath, maybe not. That's fine. Just kind of see what happens. Just sort of feeling that ease. Bring that ease of Shabbat, that restfulness, that expanse to the hips. Good. And then next time you come up, pause. And if you'd like, take the hands out at shoulder height. Palms are facing down, really extending through the fingertips. You could really spread the shoulder blades. Inhale, fill the space of your body, and then exhale, bend through the knee. Couple of breaths here. Gazing over the right fingertips. So again, you don't want to come to a place of any pain or strain. So if you feel anything grabbing, just come out of it. It can be a very gentle bend in that knee, very easy pose. And then when you're ready, release, and we'll turn the feet. So left toes out and right toes in. And same thing, bring your hands to the hips, inhale, and exhale, bend the knee. And a couple of times coming in and out. Just feel that tracking of the knee. It's not going past the ankle. And see that the knee is staying in line, that it's not turning in. So you can just, by the coming in and out, making a little movement, just start to build a little bit of heat through the gross muscles, right? Through the thigh, through the glutes. And then next time you come up, pause here. Inhale the arms if you'd like to include the arms. Gazing over the left fingertips. Inhale. And then exhale. Bend through the left knee. And come on into the pose and dynamically stay. Stopping, pausing, resting. We can even do that through dynamic action. So where can you rest within this warrior two? As you're ready, release, come on out, jump or step the feet together. Just take a moment for the ankles by just stepping through the feet. I get a lot of snap, crackle, and pop when I do that, and it feels really gratifying. So just feel your feet, all the bones. The feet are so delicate. Just feel them in contact with the mat. You can even come up on your toes, and you can even come up over your toes. It's really important to be alive in the feet to wake them up. And we're going to move on to tree pose. So I especially want to do this right now so that we can encourage ourselves and help our possibility of balance by really being alive within the foundation. So we're going to do tree pose. If you need some help with balance, feel free to take a hand to the wall, to a chair. You can even take your entire back body to a wall. Right? So lots of possibilities here. Okay, so we're going to use the right leg as the standing leg. So shift over to your right leg, and then you're going to turn out at the left hip. And you can take whatever you like for this tree pose, just a little bit of a kickstand with the foot, or the foot to the ankle, or a little further up the calf. Just don't take your foot to the knee, or you can take it further up the thigh. And bring the palms together at the heart. Find a soft gazing point several feet in front of you. And see if you can let the breath be soft and easy. Press the foot into the leg and the leg against the foot, right? So it's through that pressing together that you draw up, like kind of like you're zipping up through the center line is how I feel it. The leg and the foot are pressing together, and I can zip all the way up the front body. Good. Particularly press that outer edge of the left foot into the right thigh. And then whenever you're ready, you can come out. If you come in and out a couple of times, that's great. It's no problem. You don't have to stay the whole time. You fall out, come back in, you fall out, you come back in. Let's take the other side, moving over to the left leg as a standing leg, turning out from the right hip. And see where you want to be for your tree pose. Again, you can just kickstand the foot on the floor. You could put it to the ankle, to the calf, right? Or further up the thigh, toward the groin. Wherever you are, that's a full expression of your pose today. Again, pressing the leg to the foot and the foot to the leg, and particularly the outer edge of that right foot, pressing to the left thigh. Find your gazing point. If you lose your balance and fall out, just come on back in, try again. So finding this sense of Shabbat Menucha, of rest, even within a pose that might be challenging. And then as you're ready, release. Just shake out the legs a little bit. And one more time, you can take some easy hip circles, or even just kind of like a pendulum, swing a little side to side with the hips. And just to find some movement after a little bit of static effort there. Great. And then when you're ready, come to the floor, prone on your belly. Good. So for a moment, just stack your hands and allow your forehead to rest into the back of your hands. Tuck your right toes under you. Press the right heel back, lift your right knee. Feel that you can lengthen the whole leg away from the pelvis. Like just give a little length to the leg and then replace the top of the foot onto the floor. And just notice how it's different from the left. And then do the same thing to the left. Tuck the left toes under. Send the heel back, lift the left knee. Feel that you can lengthen that leg a little bit. Make some space at the hip. And then let the thigh come back down. Untuck the toe. Okay, friends. So pressing into those forearms, drawing the navel to the spine and lengthening the tailbone toward the heels, begin to lift the upper body away from the floor. Just a very, very low lift to start, right? So forearms are just right under the shoulders, more or less, to begin. So we're just finding the gesture of this backward extension. The main thing being that we can feel from the tailbone all the way up to the crown, this sense of arch. Abdomen lengthening. And then when you're ready, lower down. We're going to take that again, and if that was plenty for you, come up in just exactly the same way. We're going to, if you want to move on, we're going to move to Sphinx pose. So bringing the elbows under the shoulders with the palms facing forward, and pressing up and lifting up, drawing the shoulder blades back toward each other, widening the collarbones, and drawing the heart forward. And as we do this, right, we're not just sagging in the middle and in the pelvis. We're really lengthening the tailbone and imagining, again, space, vertebra to vertebra, all the way through the spine. Draw the outer shoulders back, feeling like we can pull the heart forward. And then lower down. So you can take either one of those again, or we'll move to more of a cobra by bending the elbows. Keep the elbows hugged in by the sides of your rib cage. Place the palms right by the sides of your chest. So drawing those elbows in, drawing the shoulder blades, squeezing them toward each other. Lengthen the toes away from the crown of the head as you press lightly into the hands, but it's not really the hands that are doing anything so much as we lengthen the front body up and away. So you can take just kind of a low cobra. You can even lift your hands. And then you can either press the hands in here to come up further, or you can move the hands up a little more in front of the body. I enjoy that often, to press into the hands and start to lengthen up into some version of cobra. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Finding the rest, finding the pause. And then lower down. And rest. Once again, you can make a pillow with the hands and lay the forehead down. Bend the knees, and we're going to take a little bit of windshield wiper side to side. Just making some ease for the low back. Either side to side or little small circles with the feet. See what works for you. Good, and then you can just flip on over onto your back, or if you'd like to take a counter stretch with a child pose, you can do that. I'm going to meet on the back. Take one last little stretch. And cross the right leg over the left, figure four. So the right ankle is at the left thigh, just above the knee. You could keep it right here if you'd like, and just let the pelvis settle and draw the knee in toward the body and away. Or you can bring the whole structure in, figure four. Thread the hands and take hold behind the left thigh as you draw this figure four towards the body. Light flex on the right foot. Want to protect the ankle and the knee in that way as you draw in. Then you're at choice here about how much sensation you'd like to have in the hip, in the glute. And drawing in. And then when you're ready, release. And we'll take the other side, figure four, crossing left over right. And taking a moment to just wave the left knee in and out a few times. Good, and then drawing everything in. And just noticing how it's different from one side to the next. Easy breath. Make space. And then when you're ready, release. And come to stillness. Either the knees bent or the legs long on the floor. a more traditional shavasana, or just any way that feels comfortable for you to take some stillness for a few minutes. Just find your rest. The practice of pausing, stopping, resting keeps our souls alive. It encourages wonder and renews our strength. Pausing, stopping, resting honors creation and helps us remember that we're part of the unfolding of creation along with all of life. If you have time for a longer shavasana, I encourage you to close the Zoom and just take as much time as you can to rest before you return to your day. And if you are returning to your day now, begin to deepen the breath and start to make your way back up to a comfortable seat. Take your time. And we close, as we've been doing, sadly, unfortunately, every week with a prayer for the chatufim, for the captives, the hostages, for their safe return. We extend the fruits of our practice, the blessings out to them, to anyone who needs healing. So you can join me if you like in the words of Achenu Kol Bnei Israel, Kol Beit Israel, which we'll put on the screen, or you can just listen. Achenu Kol Beit Israel, Achyoteinu Kol Beit Israel, Hanetunim B'tzara, B'tzara u'vashivya, Ha'omdim ben bayam u'ven bayabasha. Hamakom yerachem, yerachem aleihem, ve'yotziem mitzara lirevacha, u'me'afel aleora, u'mishibud ligeula, hashta bagala uvizman kariv. We pray for their safety and their safe and speedy return. May all beings have freedom.